I'm letting you know this video comes in two parts. The first part I made yesterday, and I wanted to talk about The Fault in Our Stars really badly, and I didn't even know what you were going to ask us yet, Melissa, so I didn't know what I was going to have to do with this. So it's really long, and you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. I will put a link in the video. Maybe I'll put it right here. So rather than make this video any longer, let's just go to part one. Hey girls, because we have no school today, as I'm sure you know, I have been home alone all day, and so I figured I would go for a walk and just try to clear my head a little bit after being inside all morning. And so I figured I would take you with me, and this would be a good time to make a video. Oh my god, this sun is bright. I figured I would talk about The Fault in Our Stars for a minute. That's probably something pretty good to talk about. I've read it once, and I'm currently reading it again. I know, Miranda, you've already read it at least twice. And Melissa, I assume that you finished it by now at least once. I loved The Fault in Our Stars. I thought it was so beautiful. I just thought Hazel and Augustus's relationship was beautiful, but at the same time so real. But I think that's what made it so beautiful, was that their relationship didn't feel like silly or impossible. It felt like, I really felt like I understood of course I understood the attraction of Augustus. He was a fantastic character. And I can't say I loved the ending, because of course you never want to see any character die, but knowing that they both had cancer, you knew that someone was going to die. I assumed it would be Hazel, which I was dreading, because she was so full of life, despite having lungs that failed at being lungs. And to imagine her dying just felt so incredibly sad. But as I hope you two know by now, she does not die. Augustus dies, which in so many ways almost feels worse, because in a first-person narrative like that, you are the main character. So we were Hazel. And so then to have to go through watching this boy, who she and through her we have fallen in love with completely, to watch him disintegrate and just lose everything that we loved about him. And it all kind of culminates in that scene where he calls her from his car, and he wanted to go get cigarettes and he couldn't, and he's sitting in his car crying and threw up on himself. And I've never experienced that for myself, but I can imagine how he would feel, to just feel like you can't even take care of yourself anymore, and to lose your independence like that and lose control of your body like that. It must be so embarrassing. And for her to be there with him for that is beautiful, that she could love him even when he's losing who he is and what she fell in love with about him. It's also really sad to see that, to know that the Augustus Waters that she fell in love with is not there anymore. He says that in the book. You used to call me Augustus, and now she calls him Gus. He's been lessened. His name has been shortened in her mind, and he is slowly becoming less and less of who he is. There's not as much Augustus left. And so that's really hard to read. So there's this quote from Doctor Who that I love, where a character says, "Oh, it's so beautiful and sad." Another character says, why is that a good thing? Why would you want to be sad? Why would you want something to make you feel sad? And her reply is, well, because sad is happy for deep people. And I really felt that way through a lot of this book because, of course, as I said, it's incredibly sad watching Augustus die and being with Hazel through that and seeing through her eyes him disintegrate. But that John could accomplish that so realistically without it feeling cliche at all, despite that being something that in some shape or form is addressed often in movies and books, is such an accomplishment that it almost makes me, at least as an English nerd, so happy that someone could do this the right way. And maybe happy isn't the right word. It just feels right. Like I felt like he captured the way that truly felt. It didn't feel fake or forced or cliche. And that, more than their relationship, is what made the book so affecting and is what made, at least me, when it was over, sit on the couch for a minute and not even know where to go from there because I had just experienced something that was so beautiful. Okay, so I hope that wasn't too long. And if it was long, which I know it was, I hope at least it was somewhat interesting and maybe I said something that made sense. I don't know. Anyway, so part 2 of this video is the answer to your question, Melissa, which was, what are my favorite hobbies? I guess I could say my favorite hobby is that I love to write. Whether I'm writing prose or poetry, writing is the thing I love to do. It's the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be a writer, or I would love to be a writer or a journalist, or somehow be able to write or be in that field for a job. So yeah, I don't know how much else I can say on that other than just that I love to write. I think, Melissa, I think you knew I did NaNoWriMo this past November. And I won. I did write 50,000 words in the month of November. I write poetry. Most of it is like more journal poetry that's just like me getting my angst out, but every so often I think I write something that's okay. Most of the stuff that I think is okay I put on Teen Ink, so I can put a link in the doobly-doo to my Teen Ink profile if you're at all interested in reading anything that I write. So I hope that answers your question. And again, I apologize for how long this video is. I just had to talk about The Fault in Our Stars. I really had it coming. So, yeah. Anyway, Miranda, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.